Good morning children. This is your economics class. Today we are going to see employment in India and Tamil Nadu. So we all need a job, right? That is also a paid job. Whatever we do, we have to get salary for that. Okay, that is what we are going to see in this chapter. Employment in India as well as in Tamil Nadu. You know, the basic needs of every human being are food, clothes and shelter. In the present world, one more essential need has been added to us in this list. This is employment. So we all know the basic needs, the three basic needs are food, clothing and shelter. So without these three things, humans couldn't survive. They couldn't lead a happy life, right? Peaceful life. We all have that, right? Food, clothing and shelter. But one more thing, additional thing is needed, that is called employment, which means job, paid job, right? Without any job, can all these things is possible? Food, clothing and shelter? No, right? But now you people are children, so you can get all through your parents. But what your parent will do, they have to go for a work. When they go for a work only, they can provide all you these things, right? All these things to you, right? To survive in the world, we all need employment to earn money. So we need to earn money. For that sake, we all need a job. Those who are engaged in economic activities in whatever capacity, high or low, are called employees. So in whatever work they are engaged, some economic activity, some factory, office, industry, somewhere they are engaged. They are busy with some work. So these people are called as employees. People who employ these workers and pay rewards for their work are called employers. So those who are giving them job and giving them salary for their work are called employers. Persons who are less than 15 years are considered as children, and persons who have crossed 60 years of age are excluded as they are not physically fit to undertake productive occupation. So people who are less than 15 years. So now you people might be 13 to 14, right? So you people are considered as children, right? So you will not be appointed in any job. Okay, till you complete your 10th or 12th, you will not be appointed in any job. That is an offensible thing, okay, according to our government. And person who have crossed 60 years, see, in our country the retirement age is 59. This year only they have extended one more year, so 59 years of age, right? So after that they are they are excluded. They are not physically fit for continuing their work because they physically they will become weak, right? Yes. Some get employment throughout the year, some others get employed only for few months in the year. So some people throughout the year they'll get employed. But see, in this pandemic situation, many people lost their job, right? So but some people throughout the year they are getting some jobs. See, so that is the difference, right? See, some sellers and all, no, we have lockdown. We had lockdown for 3-4 months. Past 3-4-5 months, we were in lockdown only, no. Some sellers, some beachside sellers and all, no, they don't have any other job. They couldn't continue with their work and all, no. In malls, some malls were closed. Some theaters were closed, right? Some parks, many things were closed, right? So their work has been stopped somewhere. But some people know bank and all, it was running throughout the year. Hospitals, the schools were also stopped, right? Only for May month it will be closed, right? But due to this pandemic situation, it has been closed. Now you people are learning through online, right? So some people get employment throughout the year, and some people for a few months they will be engaged, they will be employed. The economy is classified into three sectors: primary or agriculture sector, secondary or industrial sector, and tertiary or service sector. So we'll see about it. The structure of employment denotes the number of workers engaged in different sectors of the economy. So you will see a structure here, a picture. So in this structure, no, it denotes the number of workers who are engaged in different sectors of the economy. Though the occupational pattern varies from one country to another, one can find in developing countries like India that A large workforce will be engaged in primary sector, while a small proportion in secondary and tertiary sectors. Whereas in well-developed countries, the proportion of workforce engaged in agriculture will be very small, and a majority of labor force will be in the industrial and tertiary sectors. So, the occupational patterns, it varies from one country to another. In India, our major occupation is agriculture, right? The secondary occupations are these industries and all. But in some other well-developed countries, they'll be concentrating more in the industrial development, right? Agriculture is considered to be the secondary job for them, secondary sector for them. Employment has always featured as an important element of development policy in India. So in our development policy, employment is always featured, it is thought as an important thing, right? See, all the educated youngsters, all the educated men, whether they are educated or not, all must own a job, right? To run their family, to run their family, to take care of themselves. At least if it is a single person also, to take care of them, they need a job, right? So employment is an important thing. Employment growth has increased at an average rate of 2% during the past 4 decades since 1972 to 73. Now we'll see about the types of employment, organized and unorganized sectors. So we have both organized and unorganized sectors. Organized sector. The organized sector is one that is incorporated with the appropriate authority or governments and follow appropriate rules and regulations. See, this organized, arranged one, okay? So this sector, they will be having the correct authority or government. They'll have proper rules and regulations. They are formed by nature, okay? In India, employees of central and state government, banks, railways, insurance industry, and so can be called as organized sector. So in India, bank, railways, insurance industries are called organized sector. Organized sector has some formal process and procedure. The employees in this sector are provided job security and receive higher wages than those of the unorganized sector. So they have job security. Easily their job will not be taken from them, okay? They have job security throughout the year, monthly, whether they get work or not, whatever situation is it, okay, they'll get salary, high salary and job security, okay? Organized sector gives good salary, fixed working hours, paid holidays, and provides medical allowance and insurance also. So they'll be getting good salary, fixed working hours from 8 to 6, from 10 to 6, they have fixed, okay? Paid holidays for every national holidays or any other festivals, functions, they'll be getting holidays, and medical allowance will be provided, insurance will be provided for them. Now we'll see about the unorganized sector. The unorganized sector of the economy characterized by the household manufacturing activity and small scale industry. Jobs here are low paid and often not regular. Mostly they do not have paid leave, holiday, leave due of sickness and so on. So here there is no job security. At any time they can lose their job. If there is no work, no job for them. If the production is low, they couldn't get the salary. So also they would not have any paid leave. But in government school, and if you work in government office or government school, will get paid leave. Though we take 1 or 2 months leave also, we'll get the salary. But here, loss of pay. When we take half a day leave also, they will be getting loss of pay for that. So holidays will not be provided, sickness leave also, right? Employment is also not secure. When there is no work, people are asked to leave the job. So here, if you don't have work, you can leave your job. That's it. No job security is there. In the unorganized sector, the employment terms are not fixed and regular. They do not enjoy any special benefits or job security. So these are the factors that is involved in the unorganized sector. Now we'll see about the public sector versus private sector. So public sector, the part of an economy which controlled by the state is called public sector. So it is an economy which is controlled by the state or the central government. while private sector, it is not controlled by the state or the central government. Its sector will be in private. So if we'll see the differences, in public sector the motto of them is service, but in private sector the motto of them is profit. They want to get profit alone. Government owns the assets, private individual own the assets. The properties all will be owned by the government, but here in private, the private individuals, okay, they own the assets. Wages are paid by the government, wages are paid by the owners of private enterprises. So here the salary are paid by the government in public sector, but here in the private sector the salary is paid by the owner of the private enterprises. Okay, see, we'll have some examples. Public sector, NLC, NLC in the sense Neyveli Lignite Corporation, so it is in public sector. SAIL, it is a Steel Authority of India Limited, okay, it's about steel. BSNL, Bharat Sanchar Nigam Limited, okay, it's for communication. BSNL SIM and all we are using, no? So these are public sectors. In private sectors we have TVS Motors group of companies, Sundaram group of companies and all, no? So it's TVS Motors, it is an private sector. Ashok Leyland, we have seen many lorries, trucks and all, no? Ashok Leyland, Tata Steel. So these are private sectors. So in this chapter we have seen all these children, structure of employment and organized sector, unorganized sector, public sector, private sector, all these are discussed in this chapter. I hope you would have understand this, children. Thank you.